Okay, so in the last class, we were discussing about the remaining of antivirals and antiretrovirals. What can you tell me about amantadine and rimantadine? How do they work? What are the adverse effects? What are the PK parameters? What is the mechanism of action of amantadine? So for those of you who just joined, what is the mechanism of action of amantadine? That is the question I asked.
Sir, it's inhibit the uncoating of virus.
Okay. Only uncoating.
Sir, assembly also.
So it acts on, one second, acts on early and late step and late stage of replication, right? So it will stop uncoating of the virus and it will also stop assembly of the virus. All right. What are the common areas? Specific areas to amantadine and amantadine. There's something related to sleep.
Insomnia, sir.
Hmm. And
Nausea, vomiting,
hmm.
dizziness,
Hmm.
ankle edema,
Hmm.
nightmares,
All right. How long will the drug? What is the T half of the drug? Plasma half life. 16 hours left half life. All right. Now, in which patients is amantadine contraindicated? You're not supposed to give amantadine in a few patients, right?
epilepsy patients,
Epilepsy में नहीं दे सकते.
pregnancy women,
Ulcer, gastric ulcer,
gastro,
pregnancy, sir.
pregnancy. Any other CNS disorder as well, उसके अंदर भी amantadine, rimantadine generally नहीं use करते. The reason is that it has a chance of, especially amantadine, it can increase dopamine release. That can worsen these conditions. Okay. In pregnancy, it can cause a different reaction, but essentially it can worsen other CNS conditions. If there is dopamine deficiency, जब दे सकते हैं आप, but which occurs in Parkinsonism, but other than that, CNS conditions में नहीं देते amantadine. All right. What are retroviruses? What is a retrovirus?
HIV and STL2, two types.
What is a retrovirus? How is it different from other viruses? It will have a special type of enzyme, no? What is that enzyme called?
Reverse
Reverse
transcriptase,
transcriptase.
It has reverse transcriptase. What is the function of reverse transcriptase?
it converts
Sir,
the
is converts
single-stranded RNA
Hmm.
to double-stranded DNA.
It can convert RNA into DNA. Okay, and it will make it easier. It will make it easier for the virus to get integrated into the host nuclear material so that it can divide. And it also leads it to the possibility that mutations can occur. That is also the reason why retroviruses are harder to treat. Every time there is the function of retrovirus takes place, mutation will occur in the genetic material of the virus, and its properties will change essentially. So if you are giving one drug, it might stop working after a while. You'll have to use a different drug. All right. So what are the three classes that will come under antiretrovirals? So they are NRTIs, NNRTIs, and PIs, right? What is this, or what are these?
Nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors.
Okay, that is NRTIs. What will come under NRTI? What drugs?
Zidovudine,
Hmm.
imodine, and stavudine.
Okay. I think we discussed about zidovudine. All right. What about NNRTIs?
Non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase
Hmm.
inhibitors.
Okay. Example is, I told you two examples in this, NVP and EFV. What do they stand for?
Efavirenz and
Nevirapine.
yeah.
Right. Both of these will essentially act by inhibiting reverse transcriptase. Okay. If reverse transcriptase is inhibited, bacterial replication will not work. Mechanism is very similar. It is just that one is nucleosidal based, the other is non-nucleosidal based. Zidovudine to AZT work. Okay, the abbreviation is AZT. Right. What about protease inhibitors? What are the examples of protease inhibitors?
Saquinavir,
Hmm.
Indinavir,
Hmm. And ritonavir. Be careful with the names, okay? I'm telling it to you again. This ये जो vir रहता है, you might place it in a different class. Just be careful, okay? Even in NRTIs इसमें भी एक vir आता, abacavir बोल के एक drug रहता. There are others as well. Try to limit the number of examples that you memorize so that you don't get confused. ठीक है? Nucleosidal reverse transcriptase inhibitors में zidovudine, stavudine, lamivudine, abacavir आता. Non-nucleosidal में nevirapine, delavirdine, and efavirenz आता. Protease inhibitors में saquinavir, indinavir, ritonavir आता. They are more, but the more information you get, the more confusion also you get. So एक या दो examples याद रखो बस. Alright. So how do protease inhibitors work? What is
Which
the
converts
mechanism?
viral long proteins to short proteins.
What converts viral long proteins to short proteins?
Protease
Hmm.
converts.
So what do protease inhibitors do? See, you just told we have a long protein. Let us suppose this is the long protein. And this is being converted into shorter proteins. Assuming these are all viral proteins we are talking about. First of all, what is the significance of converting this long protein into shorter proteins? Why does the virus do that?
To get other enzymes, cell coating.
To individualize function. So this protein will take care of one function, this will take care of another function, this will take care of third function, so on and so forth. If it is present in a long chain, it will not be able to, give commands. Essentially, it will not be able to perform these tasks. Here comes your protease. This is a normal process that is taking place in the virus. Your protease inhibitors will inhibit this protease, because of which the shorter chains of proteins will not be formed. Essentially, that long chain will not be broken down without the presence of protease, or when protease is being inhibited. Essentially, viral function, the virus will not be able to perform its normal functions. That is the mechanism of action of protease inhibitors. All right. Now, start off with malaria. So, do you guys have any prior knowledge about malaria? Just scratch से start करना. अच्छा, we start from some basics. I'll not go into a lot of depth, but at least enough so that you understand how drugs are working. Okay. So, malaria is caused by a parasite called Plasmodium. Okay. Now there are 4 or 5 different variants of Plasmodium. We have Plasmodium vivax, ovale, malaria, and OLC. Okay. There's another one, but for now, just remember these four. Okay. Plasmodium vivax is fairly common. This fellow we call a benign tertian fever. Ovale and malaria can also occur in India, pretty common. OLC will not occur as much in India, but you do see a few cases every now and then. Okay. The main transmitter of malaria will be female Anopheles mosquito. Yeah, this is just the transmitter. This is not the causative agent. The female Anopheles mosquito is carrying Plasmodium. Once Plasmodium is entering into the host body, Plasmodium is able to cause malaria, not Anopheles mosquito. Okay. We have Plasmodium falciparum as well. Okay, falciparum causes a very severe type of malaria. Right. Now, coming to the life cycle of malaria, this is the basic life cycle of malaria. This includes both the sexual phase and asexual phase. Right. In men or in humans, the mosquito, or essentially the life cycle of mosquito, will be asexual. All right. The sexual phase of the life cycle will occur in the mosquito itself. The parasite's asexual phase will occur in humans. Okay. So you need to concern yourself with that. Specifically when you are talking about drugs, you'll only be targeting the asexual stages of the virus. Okay. Different stages which are present of the virus, usko target karte hain, not the sexual phases. You're not trying to treat the mosquito, you're trying to treat the human here. All right. Now, it's a different story that you can kill gametocytes so that spread does not occur. But there also you are only killing asexual phases. So it all starts off with something called a sporozoid. So sporozoid is something which is the stage of the parasite that is the infective stage to humans. Okay. And normally, if we have a mosquito, just hold on 1 minute. So, okay, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, now whenever there is a mosquito that has a sporozoid in its salivary glands, the sporozoids will generally sit inside the salivary glands of mosquito. This sporozoid, whenever it is biting, it will infect that human. Let us suppose that human does not have malaria already, a fresh, healthy human, and unke andar this sporozoid will get transmitted. All right. Once this sporozoid enters into the body, it will start roaming around everywhere, and eventually it will, enter the liver. All right. So यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? It is roaming throughout your circulation, and at one point of time, it will enter the hepatocyte. Okay, the liver cell. That is where your exoerythrocytic cycle will start. Okay, outside the erythrocyte. That is why it is called exoerythrocytic cycle. All right, ये liver cell में हो रहा बोल के exoerythrocytic cycle बोल. Now in the liver cell, it will undergo a few changes. I'll not go into the details of it, but essentially what will happen is the final stage, the sporozoite will mature in a way, it will start dividing, it will start replicating, it will start growing, and that sporozoite will make multiple copies of merozoites. Okay, small components of the plasmodium, small stages of plasmodium. Imagine them as kids of the sporozoite. Okay, and what will happen is the stage, the cell itself, which contains these merozoites, will be called a schizon. But at one point, what will happen is the merozoites will the number of merozoites will increase to such an extent that they will rupture the liver cell and they will get released outside. So what is happening is, first sporozoite is entering into the liver cell. It is using the liver cell as a house and it is starting to proliferate there. Okay, it is taking the nutrients of the liver cell and it is dividing. And essentially, what happens is at the end of its growth, it will turn into something called a merozoite. Now, this merozoite will rupture out of your liver cell, and that ruptured liver cell is essentially called a schizon. At that point, it will look less like a liver cell and more like a different type of cell essentially. उसको उस साइजॉन बोलते हैं. And at one point of time, the merozoite will rupture out of the cyzon. Now, what happens is these merozoites, they can do two things. Now, at one point of time, some merozoites will just enter into other liver cells and they remain stagnant. They will sleep. Okay, they will go into hibernation. They will not attack any other cells. They'll just enter one hepatocyte and they will sleep. Those cells are called hypnozoites. Okay, they are very important in relapse of malaria. I'll explain what is relapse of malaria some other time. But essentially, what is happening is out of merozoites, out of all the merozoites that have been released at the end of exocytic cycle, some merozoites are entering into new liver cells, new hepatocytes, and they sleep. Okay. Other merozoites will enter into blood and they will start attacking your RBCs. All right. So most of the merozoites will enter into blood and attack RBCs, wherein the erythrocytic cycle starts, and the rest of the merozoites will enter into this thing. They will enter into fresh liver cells. They will not kill the liver cells, or neither will they start dividing. Okay, they'll simply sleep. All right. Those cells are called hypnozoites. The stages are called hypnozoites. Did you understand what is the exoerythrocytic cycle? If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. Because we'll be treating malaria at different stages, your classification is also therapeutic. Meaning, अलग-अलग stages पे अलग-अलग way में treat कर रहे हैं malaria को. So you need to be familiar with what is happening in the different cycles of malaria, at least the human cycles. If you want me to repeat again, or if you didn't understand anything about the exoerythrocytic cycle, please feel free to ask. Put it in the chat as well.
Sir, once more repeat का.
क्या बोले?
एक बार फिर से repeat कर.
अच्छा ठीक है. So see, sporozoid जो रहता, that is present inside the female Anopheles mosquito. All right. This sporozoid is the infective stage to human. Okay. Just imagine. Let us suppose. One second. Let us suppose this is the sporozoid. Okay. And imagine this is the parasite that is causing malaria. All right. For now, imagine that this is the parasite that is causing malaria. Anyhow. Now, what this fellow will do is, as soon as it is entering into a human, healthy human, it will first circulate throughout your body. Circulate karta. And at one point of time, it will enter into your hepatocyte, your liver cell. Okay? In the hepatocyte, it will take part in exoerythrocytic cycle. It is a part of its life cycle where it is trying to divide and turn into a different phase. This is still a sporozoid. Okay? अभी भी आपके पास sporozoid ही है. What that fellow did is, it took a tour, अच्छा sightseeing करके आपकी body में, it chose the hepatocyte. Okay? यहाँ पर blood supply अच्छी है, खाना वाना भी अच्छा है, आराम से सो सकते इधर बोल के. What it does is, it entered into the hepatocyte and started the exoerythrocytic cycle. Okay. Now what happens is in exoerythrocytic cycle, see, exo means out, erythrocycle, outside the erythrocyte. Okay. In hepatocyte, these sporozoids will start to consume the nutrients of the hepatocyte itself, and they'll start to divide and proliferate. Eventually, what will happen is this hepatocyte will turn into a different cell called a schizon. And this schizon has a different mass of cells. Okay. Let us suppose it has this mass of cells. Okay. These mass of cells essentially represents merozoids. There are several hundreds of merozoids present, which I'm drawing like this. Eventually, what happens is, so this is a merozoid, clubbed merozoids. Eventually, what will happen is they will rupture out of this schizon, and what you will see is essentially a lot of merozoids being released outside. ठीक है, तो क्या करा उन्हें, स्पोरोजोइड पहले आया आपकी बॉडी में, एंटर करा, it roamed around, it chose the hepatocyte, it entered into the hepatocyte, started dividing, and it turned the hepatocyte into a schizon, and the daughters of that sporozoid are essentially your merozoites. Okay, these merozoites will increase their number in to such an extent that they will rupture out of the liver. Now, most of these merozoites enter into RBC. They will enter blood and they will start attacking RBCs. Some of these merozoites will enter into new hepatocytes. New hepatocytes. Okay, and in this hepatocyte, they will not divide. They will simply sleep. Okay, or they will hibernate. Those stages which are sleeping or hibernating inside the new hepatocyte, they are called hypnozoites. अभी तक यहाँ तक समझ में आया अभी?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, anyone else who has any doubts? Acha. Now, forget about these hypnozoites for now. We'll concentrate on what is happening in the RBC. Okay. So here you go. Once it is entered into the RBC, this fellow will, the cycle it enters is called the erythrocytic cycle, because this is happening inside the RBC. These merozoites enter into the RBC and they start changing. Okay, again they will form a different kind of cell. Okay, that cell is called a trophozoite. Right? These merozoites, they will enter into the RBC and they start dividing and they start proliferating in a different way, wherein that new cell or the new form of that virus is called a trophozoite. So the trophozoite has two fates. Okay? It can do two different things. Some of these trophozoites will turn into a gametocyte, and the rest of the trophozoites will become a mature trophozoite. So out of that immature trophozoite, so पहले merozoite RBC में enter होगा. Once it has entered into the RBC, it will start growing and it will become an immature trophozoite. That immature trophozoite can do two things. Some of these immature trophozoites, let us suppose there are 1000 merozoites that are entering into 1000 RBCs. Example. Okay? And out of those 1000 merozoites, 1000 are turning into immature trophozoites. Now we have 1000 RBCs with 1000 immature trophozoites with that. Immature. Okay? Out of this, imagine 500 are turning into gametocytes and 500 are turning into mature trophozoites. This difference is important because these mature trophozoites will become secondary merozoites. Yeah, जो mature trophozoites hai, they will start dividing again, they'll make a schizont again, and what comes out, it will again rupture the RBC, and what comes out will be secondary merozoites. Okay? These secondary merozoites will start infecting other RBCs. Alright. But gametocytes, they become a schizont and they become a gametocyte. Essentially, what will happen is these gametocytes, whenever a new Anopheles mosquito or new female Anopheles mosquito is coming and biting you, these gametocytes will enter into that mosquito and they can start the sexual phase of their life cycle. So gametocytes are essential for propagation of their generation. Okay, they will start, proliferating. They will continue the life cycle in a different way. Okay, they will enter into the mosquito and they'll start the sexual phase of the life cycle, so that it can, enter into a different human and continue its life cycle there. Again, a sexual phase can start there. The rest of the immature trophozoites, they will become mature. Eventually, they will turn the RBC into a schizont, or eventually that schizont will rupture, because of which you will get secondary merozoites. All right. These secondary merozoites have the capability of entering into new RBCs, completely healthy, unaffected RBCs, and again the whole process will repeat. Okay. Again, erythrocytic cycle will occur. This is how asexual phase of malaria takes place in the human. ये यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Did you understand what is erythrocytic cycle? Or do you want me to repeat?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Anyone
sir.
who has doubts? You can put in the chat as well if you didn't understand. Or if you want me to repeat it.
Sir, immature
हाँ, immature.
trophozoites एक बार बोला सर.
देखो, let us suppose this is the RBC, ठीक है? And इसके अंदर we have your primary merozoites. इन लोगों को primary बोलते हैं because बाद में secondary आ रहा ना. The ones that are coming out of your hepatocytes, they are called primary merozoites. I just told merozoite, but they are called primary merozoite. These fellows are entering into your RBC. Okay, let us suppose this is a merozoite, or suppose this is your merozoite. Okay. Now, these merozoites will first change their form into a trophozoite. So let us suppose the trophozoite looks something like this. Okay. Now this fellow is an immature trophozoite. Now the fate of immature trophozoite can be twofold. So some of these immature trophozoites will form a gametocyte. Some of these will form a mature trophozoite. So imagine initially we had 1000 merozoites which gave rise to 1000 trophozoites. इसमें से 500 gametocytes बन गए and 500 mature trophozoites. Okay, both of them will lead to different lives. A mature trophozoite will turn the RBC into a schizon because the RBC is becoming a schizon, and eventually this will rupture. And what comes out of this schizon will be secondary merozoites. Okay. Half of these mature trophozoites that have turned into mature trophozoites, they will start proliferating in a different way. They will turn the RBC to a schizon, and the schizon will eventually rupture, causing the release of secondary merozoites. These secondary merozoites have the capability of infecting new RBCs and repeating the erythrocytic cycle. So field से the whole same thing will occur. So यहाँ से फिर immature trophozoite बनता and again it will have two fates and all of that will happen. Okay. Gametocytes will turn into, okay, this is immature gametocyte. This fellow will turn into a schizon. Okay, and it will tear. Sorry, I just lost the connection. So as I was saying, gametocytes which are initially immature, okay, so immature gametocyte, these are coming out of immature trophozoite, okay. Immature gametocyte, this is turning the RBC into a schizon, different type of schizon. And what comes out of these schizons are mature gametocytes. Okay. Some of these mature gametocytes are male, some of these are female. Okay. So जो gametocytes बनते, half of them are male and half of them are female, whatever is developing. So we initially had 500 gametocytes, right? Out of 1000 merozoites, we were supposing that half of them are becoming gametocytes. And out of these 500, let us suppose 250 are becoming male and 250 are becoming female. These two will be bidding their time. Whenever a female Anopheles mosquito bites the human again, these fellows will enter into the mosquito. And the sexual phase of the life cycle starts inside the mosquito. Okay. They will turn into a zygote, ookinete, all of that will occur, and the sexual stages of the cellular cycle will occur. That is a different headache altogether. But for now, this is what happens inside the human. Okay. यहाँ तक अभी समझ में आया? Or do any one of you have any doubts? You want me to repeat anything? Okay. So I don't think we'll have enough time. I'll stop the class for now.